Have you ever found yourself staring down at a page or chapter in your revision, knowing you have to cut or rewrite major chunks of text and thinking, I don't want to do it? Or maybe you just say to yourself something along the lines of, but I love that passage. It's some of my best work. Up next, I have a great revision hack for you that will help give you some much needed perspective on your novel revision. Hi, I'm Jessica Brody, author of the #1 best-selling writing guide, Save the Cat Writes a Novel, and the founder of the Writing Mastery Academy. So, we all know that sometimes in order to make a good scene great, you have to cut things you really like. Or as William Faulkner says, in writing, you must kill all your darlings. Well, here's a mind trick I discovered to put those darlings to the test and discover if they really are that great, or if they're just sort of great, and my reluctance to kill them stems more from the fear of not being able to do better. Sound familiar? So here's what I do. I cut and paste the entire scene or chapter I'm trying to revise out of my main document. Get it out of there, remove it completely. I paste it into a separate document. Then I set those two documents side by side in my window so I can see them both at once. Then I start the scene or chapter from scratch. That's right, blank page, fresh start, white horizon. Sometimes I'll even start a brand new document just for the revision of that scene so I keep everything clean and clear. Now, here's where the mind hack comes in. You're allowed to put anything from the original scene or chapter back into the new version of the scene or chapter. But, and here's the caveat, you can't copy and paste anything back in. You have to physically retype it. Every single word. Here's what this really nifty trick does. 1, it forces you to really decide if it's worth keeping. It's a lot harder to retype than it is to cut and paste, or type around text that's already on the page. Once you have to retype that entire passage back in, word for word, your brain goes, is this really worth it? And you'll have an easier time answering that question truthfully. You might get halfway through retyping that passage you thought was the best work you've ever done, only discovered that it's really not, and all of this retyping is actually a lot of work and maybe not so worth it. And the second thing this trick does is just the act of retyping the words, which is essentially rewriting it, puts your brain into a different gear. Essentially, it puts your brain back into drafting mode for a moment, and you can see that old passage with new eyes. It's strange, but the act of retyping it often gives me a new perspective on the text, and I find myself typing new things along with the old things, literally revising the passage as I type, instead of trying to cram new things into an existing chunk of text where my ego is clinging desperately to things I probably shouldn't be clinging to. I'm able to revise as I type and decide what stays and what goes in the moment, which oftentimes works out better for me. So give this little hack a try. Find a scene or chapter or passage that needs to be revised, get it out of your manuscript, and add it back manually, word for word. See if it helps. You'll look at your writing with a bit more clarity. If you liked this writing tip, be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel to catch my next writing video the moment it releases. Also, if you need more novel writing or revising help, check out my Writing Mastery Academy, where you get unlimited access to all of my online courses, plus live monthly webinars with me. I'll link to that in the description below. I wish you the best of luck with your novel revision. Until next time, happy writing.